Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gamers Den podcast. I am your co-host, RelayTS, alongside me, the other co-host, crenbeast. And today we're going to be introducing ourselves, how we got into gaming, and then we're going to be going into the current state of Fortnite, what Fortnite's going to look like in the future, what it looked like in the past, et cetera, et cetera. crenbeast, I guess just explain, how you got into gaming, all that stuff.
What's up, man? It's been a long time coming for this podcast. We have been off and on trying to start this for a while now, so it's good to be here. But yeah, so as you said, I'm crenbeast. I started creating content not too long ago, just a few months ago, and I really got into the Fortnite scene. But as far as just what got me into gaming, the funny thing is, I didn't actually play a ton of games growing up because I grew up in a sports family. And gaming was very frowned upon. So when I got a little older and got able to make my own decisions, I just fell in love with the whole scene of gaming, the communities. In my opinion, gaming has some of the greatest communities in the entire world in all walks of life. But yeah, so that's where I am. That's kind of how we got here. But Relay, why don't you tell them a little bit about your background, your community, and how you got into Fortnite?
Yeah, so the first game I ever played was actually Nintendo 64, so it makes me feel a little bit old. But I got into Nintendo 64 with my brothers, all that stuff. But I really didn't get addicted to gaming until I got into NW2 back in 2010.
Yeah, I
was 10 years old or whatever. But I got in NW2. I played NW2 actually for a decade up until 2019. I played GTA 2K along the way, but mainly NW2. I was a big NW2 fan, and then Fortnite came around. I started making content at the start of quarantine, literally 2 weeks after COVID started, I started making content. And then, ever since then, I've just been trying to go full time. It's been a grind, but it's been a lot of fun. But I've been gaming consistently since 2010. And, eventually I always wanted to do YouTube, but it didn't really, nothing really sparked until I started, seriously. And when COVID started or whatever, that's when I just, bought myself and just went full on. Because if you don't go full on, nothing's ever going to work. So
right. I
just fully committed when COVID started. But that's pretty much how I got into gaming, and how I am where I am today. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just to make you feel a little bit younger, the first game that I ever played on was actually the Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was the Game Boy Color, which was before the Game Boy Advanced SP. Yeah. I'm a boomer in this space, but it's all good. Here we are.
Yeah, I'm considered a boomer too. So we're way old for the scene.
Yeah,
the average age. The average age of the gaming community nowadays is 13.
Yeah, and especially Fortnite. It's the one thing in the world that you can be, between 19 and 25 and be a boomer. It makes no sense, but
yeah,
here we are.
Yep.
We're here though. All right, so Relay, Fortnite. You have a big community. You have around 500,000 followers throughout all of your different platforms. You're big on Fortnite. You have a big Fortnite community. Fortnite right now is in a weird spot. They have a lot of people quitting, a lot of people coming back. Some people think it's awful. Some people think it's great. Let's hear your opinion on where Fortnite is, how it got to where it is from where it was.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I play Fortnite every single day, pretty much. I stream it, every single day, 8 hours a day on Twitch. So I know where Fortnite is, how it got there, etc. I kind of want to start from the beginning. I want to start, when Fortnite was in its prime. Okay, we all know Fortnite was in its peak up until the biggest game in gaming history up until season 7. It really was, or up until season 8, because season 7 was still at its peak. And after season 8, it slowly started to decline. Season 9, so season 8 is when it was still casual. Casual was good. Season 9 is sort of where Fortnite and Epic really took the serious stance on competitive, and that's when the World Cup happened. That's when the competitive basically just blew up after that. And then after season 9, season 10, they kind of just messed up everything. It just kind of just exploded, mechs, they didn't know how to balance stuff. Casual and competitive was mixed in with each other, and everything just went to poop. And I feel Epic kind of freaked out there and didn't really know how to, start chapter 2 after that. And, they just botched the whole entire thing. But I remember playing chapter 2 season 1, everybody was so hyped about it. Like going into chapter 2, you know, me and my brother would be like we would be like, oh my God, this is awesome, whatever. And then like a month into it, I remember we were gliding like over Lazy Lake or whatever. And I was like, this just sucks. Like, this is not fun.
Yep.
I remember thinking like, this is not Fortnite. And ever since then, it's been on a slow decline. But I mean, right now, Fortnite is not in a good spot. XQC averages more viewers than Fortnite as a whole. It's competitive is carrying this game. Casual is nowhere to be seen.
100% agreed. And as somebody who was more on the casual side for the longest time and still am, my interests are in comp, but as far as me as a player at 100% casual, it sucks. It does, because like you said, Fortnite at one point was probably, I'm not going to say it's the greatest game of all time. It might be, but it was definitely the greatest period of gaming of all time. And what I mean by that is it created a community that I don't know if we'll ever see again. Just the craze. It was a perfect storm of, you know, the whole Ninja playing with Drake thing, and just everyone was playing it, and it kind of made gaming okay for everyone. And Fortnite was at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
Because many people know, like, if you're from a small town like I am, gaming is kind of it's a little frowned upon. And Fortnite kind of opened that bridge and made it okay for everyone, made it cool for everyone to play. So it's really sad to see where it is now. And I will say this about the black hole. As somebody who is really into marketing, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Great marketing.
Not only in gaming, but just in general. Like, I've seen a lot of brand launches. I've seen, you know, you see Apple do their little, you know, when they release a new piece of tech or new iPhone or something. This was, in my opinion, the coolest launch for anything I've ever seen, because not only did they, you know, have a really unique way to tie the storyline into chapter 2, but they also shut the entire game down for 2 days. That, you know, the whole world was talking about it. I remember seeing, I believe it was Snoop Dogg said something about it. Like, they had the whole world talking about what's considered a child's video game, which we'll get into that later. I don't think it's just a child's video game, but it's really sad to see where it is now. But in your opinion, what do they need to do to at least begin to get it back to the old state?
Well, that's honestly that's a pretty easy answer in my opinion. Like, it's not that confusing. I'm pretty sure the average Fortnite player knows what they need to do. But coming from a person who, like, you know, my life basically, you know, Fortnite's a huge part of my life. So, like, all they need to do is, number one, communication. That's the biggest thing they've been lacking in chapter 2. It's the biggest thing that roots to all problems. Because people say, oh, the community. Well, why did the community get bad? Because of the lack of communication with Epic. Because Epic wouldn't communicate with the community. Therefore, the community, you know, all of us talk together, and then we disagree, and then, you know, it just puts the community in shambles. Communication is key. For example, something simple like patch notes. Where did they go? They just vanished. So patch notes need to come back. You know, I know we have updates like every month, every 2 weeks. I don't even know what it is anymore. But the reason I don't know what it is because the updates are so small. Like, back in the day, the updates would be at least a new weapon every time. Like, I need at least a new weapon. The block. Like, why is Coral Castle in the game after 2 years of being in the game?
Oh my god!
I can't even think the last time I landed there. I was like, oh my god, this place is awesome. Maybe the first time I landed there. But since then, like, I haven't even cared about that location.
I don't think anybody has ever landed there and said this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what was the crossover? Because that was originally Aquaman. When that happened, it was like, oh, this is cool. You know, it's another crossover, you know. But, like, that stuff gets old. That stuff gets so old. And patch notes were a big part of what made Fortnite. Because other games, they made patch notes, but Fortnite was really one of the first games to go in detail and just recreate the game every single Monday night. Every single Monday.
I remember when Nick A30 would have 2 hours when he started a stream where he would just read the patch notes. Like, I remember that. Like, he would that would be like half of his stream, like reading the patch notes. And, like, you can't do that anymore. And, like, speaking, like, that's not even the, you know, the biggest part of communication. Like, if they would just, like, listen. Like, if they were just, you know, if they saw a trend going in the community, for example, you know, bringing back the block, that'd be something that, you know, would be, okay, Epic is listening to us. But I know it's happened in Chapter 2 before, but I don't remember the last time that Epic has blatantly listened to the community. Like, actually, okay, like this is what we suggested. This is what they brought to the game. I don't remember the last time they did that, but I know they did it in Chapter 2, but it hasn't been often, and they need to do it more.
No, it's definitely not often, and it's to the point to where I almost think a lot of them definitely are geniuses, but it makes me think that all of this is on purpose because it kind of is like giving poor people food or people who don't have access to food all the time food. Like when you if you go like weeks without giving them any, but you give them to them one time, they're more grateful than they would be if you give it to them every single day. And that's kind of how we as a community with Fortnite feel because they rarely give us anything. It's like we just get these pointless updates, that make no sense and that nobody asked for.
They make no impact. There's no impact.
Make no impact. It doesn't do anything. Nobody can get excited about it. And because of that reason, they're losing the big streamers. And in my opinion, that is their biggest downfall. You can say what you want because the community still has, millions of monthly players. It's still strong in that regard. But as far as public perception, when they lost to Ninja, like that was awful. That hurt them because Ninja and Fortnite were synonymous. Fortnite made Ninja, but you could also argue that Ninja made Fortnite.
100%.
Like at least to a point because they're kind of synonymous. So losing him was big, but then it goes past that. They've lost. It's just so many people.
Not even that, but who are they losing right now? They're losing Cypher PK. That's one guy who they're losing right now.
Yeah,
he'll still make YouTube content, but
yeah. And the moment that they lose Cypher, like his interest, he'll never probably stop just because of his YouTube and like that's his. Well, he might, but that's kind of his shtick and that's his business because he's one of the ones that stuck. But they're losing his interest, man. And if you lose Cypher PK, like at some point you gotta reevaluate, set back, and just restart. Which on that note, when you earlier, what I thought you were going to say.
What?
What Epic needs to do.
Yeah. What?
It's what we're all thinking, man. What we're all thinking. Bring it back.
Bring
the old map back. Just do it. Like I get why they don't. Like trust me, I get it because I personally think people for a month, like it would bring everyone back. People would be trying to relive 4 years ago Christmas when it was honestly the greatest time of all time. But everyone would try to be reliving that, and then after a month, people would probably be a little bored. So I get it. Like just in logical sense, it makes I get why they're not doing it, but.
Well, I have something to say about that. I know the reason why I know the reason why they want to bring back the old map, and it's because they can't replicate what they did back then. Because now, in my opinion, like I've talked so much trash about Epic Games, I'm never going to get a job from them. I will never, ever have any sort of communication with Epic. I might get my Sport of Greater code taken away one day because of how much trash I talk about Epic. But in my opinion, they've gotten very lousy in the past 2 years, and I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I really don't. And I don't think it's, a very harsh thing to say either. I think it's pretty obvious. But I feel like the main reason they won't bring back the old map is because they'll have so much pressure on them to replicate what they did back in the day. And they can't do that. Yep. What are they going to do? Are they going to do 2 pointless updates a month and on the old map? They can't do that and have the old map come back, be successful because they'll never be able to replicate it. They can bring back the old map, but if they bring it back, they better be ready to be pumping out updates 2 times a month. That are huge updates. I'm talking map changes, different weapons every single time. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree. And Epic kind of falls back on an excuse why they don't do it. And they say that, the old map was just kind of a placeholder in the first place. We didn't really know what BR was going to be. They didn't have water. Well, they had water, but it wasn't real water. Like the loot lake where you couldn't really walk through it. They didn't have a lot of the mechanics that you have now. And honestly, that map was poorly laid out for comp, like with just the massive mountains and hills. So I get it. But at some point, that's an excuse, first off. You can redo it from scratch. You can add in all that.
They're lousy. They're lousy.
That can be done. Yeah, exactly. That's just them using an excuse. So don't be fooled by that if you have been fooled by that. But I get why they're not. But come on, like at least give us a new map or at least change this map. If you look at a picture of the map now, which is over 2 years since this map has come
hardly changed at all.
It's almost the same. Like what are we doing?
In fact, I know what changed. I know what has changed on the map. I know exactly what changed because it hasn't been a lot, so I know. And I played the game every single day. The only thing that's changed are those new orange biomes, a few new trees. I'm not kidding about that. There's a few new trees. And, those little IO bases around the map. And, like, Coral Castle and, Stealthy Stronghold, stuff like that. Those are the only changes that we've been seeing over the past 2 years. We need to see a recognizable map change every single season. And that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Something needs to change. And the reason why Epic has been so, the reason why Chapter 2 has been so unsuccessful is because they are, and this is my opinion, and I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but this might be wrong as well. I think they're focused on, just, I don't know how else to say it besides bagging out. Like, I feel like they're trying to make as much money as possible with these collabs, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I honestly think collabs are good for the game. But if they don't balance out collabs with original content, they're never going to be successful. If you go in the item shop right now, 90% of the item shop, 90% of the time is going to be all collabs and not original skins, not original new skins. And that's the reason why Fortnite's so unsuccessful and so the public eye doesn't see it the same is because it's not the original Fortnite content that we're used to seeing back in the day. Like, that's what the OG map was that's what was so beautiful about OG Fortnite. It was original. Like, there was no collabs, and if there was a collab, they did it right and they balanced it out.
Yep. The best word that I can think of it was pure. Like, it was so pure. It's content it created and just kind of how you had fun in the game. And it goes all the way back to, the item shop. Like you said, the item shop at one point was a couple of skins, an emote or two, and then maybe a back bling or something crazy. It was like 5 total things. And that created excitement in itself because I remember everyone at 7 o'clock or whenever it was in your time zone, every single night would just rush on to see what's updating the item shop. And now nobody really cares because, you scroll. The
younger kids care, but I would care if I was a younger kid and had my parents' credit card connected to my V-Buck account too. I would care, but I'm not gonna whip out $50 anymore. I'm not gonna whip out $50 to spend in the item shop. I would rather spend my $50 on a new game at this point. Like, why would I buy a skin from a movie that when I know specifically that you're having that skin in your item shop just to make money off of me? Also, I'm not saying, I already said this, but I'm not saying that these collabs are bad. I think they are fantastic. They bring people to the game. If people see a Rick and Morty skin, people are going to come to this game just for that Rick and Morty skin. They are. But they need to balance. It's all about balance, and they don't have that. They don't have balance.
Totally agree. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with the item shop the way it is. I'm just saying that's another kind of small, it's not really an issue, but it kind of shows the whole picture.
Yeah,
that is a very small subset. It's an example of what Fortnite is doing, not necessarily wrong, but what has gone wrong with it, because it was just so pure. It created excitement, and now, it is what it is, and here we are. But I will give them this: it's 2021, and here we are, still talking about Fortnite. So,
but we're diehard fans, so that's different. I mean, the average person's not talking about Fortnite anymore. I go to my friends and dude, Fortnite's been dead for 2 years. And it's not dead. That's the thing. It's not dead. But in the public eye, it is 100% out of the water. Nobody talks about Fortnite anymore.
Yep.
There's never a bit the last time they probably talked about Fortnite was the Travis Scott concert, and that was amazing. One of the best events of all time. But that was the last time the public eye talked about Fortnite. We think Fortnite's relevant because all we do is talk about it because we play it every single day. We're still Fortnite fans. We are. But the public eye does not view Fortnite as what they once did. And Epic needs to realize that, that's true and how they need to approach that and how they need to fix it. And one thing I did see about Epic Games that I think they're doing well on is on Twitter. I saw one of the workers or managers or something at Epic Games tweet out that they're looking for someone who will help them out with the competitive side of gaming. And I've seen a local community manager, Minsky, who actually works for Overtime. He commented under there. He's a big manager in the scene, and he knows a lot about competitive Fortnite. If we got a guy like that in Epic Games, that he could communicate with the Fortnite community and also provide like the things that we want in competitive Fortnite. I think there needs to be more of that. I think they need to get Cypher PK in there. I think they need to get Lachlan in there. I think they need to get more of the community involved in the the progression of Fortnite.
Oh, 100% agreed. And talking about like bringing back the old map and stuff, that's kind of half joking on my end because I agree with you that the main way that they can really fix it is to communicate, is to bring back patch notes, and just because nobody really cares. Like the community does not get mad about. I mean, we get mad about everything. Yeah. So Epic's kind of in a tough spot, but just in general, if they would just tell us this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it, I think everybody would be fine. We would probably understand because they're smart. These people are game developers and know what they're doing. They probably have a pretty in-depth plan, but it's just like, tell us that. Like, it's very difficult for us when we don't see that picture. Like when we're going to the same POIs for 2 years with nothing changed. Like maybe it's setting up for like the greatest end event of all time, and it was just kind of all a tease and a setup. But like at least give us those teasers. Give us hope. Don't just keep, like the bunker. Let's talk about the bunker just for 1 second. Like the freaking bunker. So that bunker, if you don't know what we're talking about, right beside Caddy Corner, right below the weather station, there is a redacted bunker. It's been just a big metal thing that obviously looks like you can go into, but we have not had.
And by the way, sorry to cut you off, but I've made over 50 theories about this bunker, by the way.
Yeah.
So continue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And by the way, Relay on TikTok, he's kind of known for making theories, so go give him a follow, RelayTS. But yeah, redacted bunker. So that thing has been a mainstay for Fortnite theories and leaks and just everyone talking about it. It's like, what's in there? And it goes back further than that, all the way on the Chapter 1 map. If you remember, there's some of these on this map too as well, but there was like little bunker type things like in the ground, and there was all these rumors and theories, and in all honesty, it was just Fortnite kind of teasing us because they put it there for no reason. I think Ali A made the first theory on it maybe, and then it blew up and everybody was like, oh, is there something under there? Is this whole thing, a secret, a conspiracy? I think that's actually where they came up with the storyline from, but we'll talk about that at a different time. So it's just been years, 4 years of like rumors and talking about this bunker and just what it could be. They open it up and it's just an IO base.
Not only is it just an IO base, but it doesn't even have henchman chest, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah, no, there's nothing special to it.
There's Sloan in there. It's so overpowered. Like you walk in there, you're gonna die because there's literally AIs just pointing 85 million ARs at you with the mythic burst. Also, I'm pretty sure there's only like 5 to 10 chests. It's literally a subpar IO base in a bunker that I've speculated to be, where the 0 point would be stored, where the cube would be stored, where a tunnel to the old map would be, obviously as a joke. But
which is my favorite one.
Like stuff like that, dude. That's what the community loves. Why do you think my theories blow up? It's not because of me making them. It's because of the speculation of what could possibly happen with the storyline. And you guys continue to fail over and over and over to make us satisfied with the result. And you literally just failed so hard on that. That was the biggest thing. And people got mad at me for complaining about that. But I was like, this is ridiculous. Like if I'm one of the hated guys in like the modern community, I guess. I'm not even a big, whatever, but a lot of people hate me because I complain a lot, but I complain about it because nobody else does. Do you think that some of these creators who are making millions of dollars off of this game are going to complain? No, because they're making millions of dollars. So if I don't complain and if other smaller creators don't complain, it's never going to get out there. But that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, not my life, obviously.
Yeah.
In Fortnite.
Well, and one thing on that, it's like people like Cypher PK, they can voice their opinion. But like what most people don't realize about guys like that are they have account reps, similar to how, medium-sized TikTokers and YouTubers have account reps with those platforms. Cypher PK has an account rep with Epic Games. So that's kind of an ongoing talk there. So like he really can't just come out and just blast them. He probably wants to. In fact, just if you listen to him, you kind of know.
He definitely does.
And I'm not just saying Cypher. This goes for all the people who are still big.
You suck, Lachlan.
I don't know that. Yeah, they all have kind of relationships with Epic Games. So they're not going to do that. So that's what we're here for. and just to clarify, we still play. we still love Fortnite. This is not coming from a place of hate or talking crap on it. This is coming from a place of it's kind of like the dad who wants their kid to grow. They don't yell at them because they just don't like them. They yell at them because they want them to get better. And just be better. Just get better, Epic. Like, Jesus, we've been here for 2 years on the same map. Just fix it.
Yeah. And
anyway.
One thing I want to talk about as well is like, I think we need to talk about a little bit more about what we're talking about right now, but what you mentioned earlier, and it really sparked a conversation in me about what if this is all just a setup and they're going to have a huge end event. I think we'll just get into this now. I think that Chapter 2 could end after the season. And I know people are going to say, they talked about Season 9. They talked about how there's going to be 10 seasons in Chapter 2. They talked about all this stuff. But you got to realize it's already been the same amount of time the old map's been a thing with Chapter 2. I'm pretty sure it's already been the same time. Chapter 2 is already longer than what Chapter 1 was. They have no reason not to surprise us with the biggest end event of all time at the end of the season and bring back Fortnite. They have no reason not to do that. You can't think of one reason not to do that. You can't think of it. Maybe because they talked about Season 9, but Donald Mustard has avoided talking about Season 9. He has. And stuff like that, like crenbeast knows all about it, but he knows more. But just in general, they have no reason not to take advantage of the stale time in Fortnite and absolutely blow us out of the water. They have no reason not to.
100% agreed, and something to kind of back that up. So first off, let's get this out of the way. I know the big thing right now, the only place that it ever says Season 9 is on what's the monthly thing? The crew pack. So the crew pack, it says something about Season 9, but I will say this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but if you don't follow Code the Camper Rusher, I'm going to, go ahead and give him a free plug right now. He's pretty good. He covers it pretty well. There's apparently some wording in it that is supposed to be updated to get rid of the word Season 9. And it's supposed to just say, like, remember to maintain your battle pass, whatever. And then they get rid of that. I don't know if that means anything. That could just be them teasing us because they know this is kind of a conversation within the community. But, so if you take a look back through the seasons, they do end events regularly. Sometimes it's sporadic. You could argue that they've done live events in multiple seasons in a row, but a true end event is typically every other season. Like, they don't really do a massive one back-to-back seasons very often. The last time they really did two big ones, because if you look at the Robot versus Monster, that wasn't really an end event because I think it actually went past that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was a massive event.
That was Season 9. And then, so that was the season before.
So that was Season 9. That was a big event in Season 9. And then the following season was probably just data and update wise, it definitely was the biggest update. I mean, the biggest end event ever with Fortnite.
Yeah.
And there's already leaks in the files for them to be a really, really large end event at the end of this season. So my question is, and the last end event was massive, heading into Chapter 2, Season 8. So why are they doing two massive ones in a row when typically they don't do that? Why would they do that just to go into a Season 9? And it could just be a coincidence. But
they don't do that.
I think
it's not a coincidence because they don't do that. There's no way this is a coincidence unless it's the first time they did it. But the Season 7 event, I thought was number one, a top 5 event of all time. I thought that was a fantastic production. I thought it was amazing. I had a lot of fun, streaming with my community. But I might be biased because it was recent, but I think, that was a great event. But that was a huge event. It really was. Like, that was a big event. That wasn't just a small, okay, here's a season event. That was a big event. There is no way that they have enough storyline just from that event to now to make this big of an event. There's no way. It's only been a month and a half. They don't update the game anymore. There's no way enough has happened. So it really does add up to where this could be a surprise end to Chapter 2, and I think they need to do it. I think this is necessary, and I think if they don't do this, it's going to drag out too long, and Fortnite's going to be too dead at the end of Chapter 2 to actually come back and make a huge, burst, a comeback or whatever. I don't think it's going to be possible if they don't do this.
Yeah, totally agreed. And just one last thing on this, and we'll move on, because I know a lot of the listeners are probably like, "Oh, it's not going to be. We'll let us stream." But
yeah,
so To combat anyone who is going to say, just throw it out the window and say it's not possible. First off, I've already kind of told you the crew pack update, but also on top of that, HypeX, one of the biggest leakers in Fortnite.
The biggest leaker,
he's
probably.
been around. Yeah, probably the biggest. He's been around for a long time, been doing it from the beginning. But he originally said that he thinks there's going to be a season 9 and 10. But just yesterday, he put out a tweet and showed the world that Epic Games has recently updated the black hole. And what I mean by that is they have gone into the files and tweaked it and made it to where, it works on new gen consoles, and they tweaked it. They updated it. Why would they do that if they're not going to use it? Now, they could have done that because they made it to where hackers could see it. So they could have done that just to kind of toy with this, because they've done that once or twice in the past. But it was a pretty big update to it, and you can go to HypeX's Twitter page. He kind of goes in depth about it. But he even said at the end of that tweet, this could be the end of Chapter 2. And he's not saying it is, not definitive, but I'm just saying, if HypeX says it's a possibility,
it's a possibility.
I'm there. I'm with it. It's a possibility, because whatever HypeX says goes. He's the man. So
yeah,
I'm just saying it's possible. And if so, get your popcorn ready, because the end event is going to be bonkers.
I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. If that happens, I'm doing a 24-hour stream. No questions asked. I don't care what responsibilities I have. I'm doing a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, same. I will quit my job. 100%. I will quit it right there.
Yeah,
right there.
I mean that's something that everybody would be in agreement on. I don't think there'd be one Fortnite player who would be against that thought of happening. I mean, maybe people could argue, oh well, they're not building enough hype around it, but there's nothing to be built around. There's no hype to be built. Like honestly, at this point, there's no hype to be built because Fortnite's already lost its public hype. Like it's all within the community, and if the community's around it, that's all that matters. So I mean,
yeah,
if they can come back with just a surprise event, they can do that. Like if you say this is not possible, did you think that having an event as cool as the end event was possible? Did you think that having a video game shut down for 2 days was possible? Did you think any of the stuff that Epic has done in the past 2 years is possible? Because I haven't. So I think anything's possible with Epic Games.
Yeah, and one last thing on that. So if they were going to hype it, the way that it's going right now is the way, as a marketing person, I would hype it, because they can't do what they've done in the past and make it part of the everyday updates. You know why? Because some of the bigger people who would be streaming it and talking about it aren't streaming it and talking about it. So that really wouldn't do much. The best way to hype it up would be to slowly allow things to get out so that leakers could put it out. And so people like us could talk about it and kind of build it up and say, this is a possibility. And then as we get closer and closer, make it more definitive, make it to where it's obviously coming, and then we have no clue what's coming, but we know something big is coming. And that's kind of the route we're going right now. And also, tell me why FNCS would end a month and a half before the season ends. Because,
let's talk about that real quick. Only a 2-week FNCS, only 2 qualifiers. That's never happened, ever, right? I don't think it's ever happened. Usually,
I've never seen them.
Usually, it's at least 3 qualifiers, if I'm correct, right? Or is it 4? At least 3. So usually, it's basically what we're saying is it's way longer. They're ending this huge journey. It might be because of Grand Royale, by the way. It might be because of Grand Royale, which we might be just out of our minds right now, just trying to, convince it. But either way, I think this is still a huge sign, like just randomly ending it early. And I think it could add up. Everything just adds up.
Yeah. And they're slowly adding things back. This could just be a tease, and more than likely it actually is. Yeah. But then bringing back Kevin the Cube, then bringing back things like that. And then, if you didn't know, the mech is rumored. Well, not rumored. The mech will be in the voting template on Fortnite. So it'll have an option to come back at the last week or 2 of this season, which again, flashbacks to season 1.
Why do you think they're doing that? Do you think they think we want the mech back? No. They're bringing the mech back to replicate season 10, and they're only bringing it back for a week or 2 because they know we don't want it. So
exactly, and they know what they're doing. They've been teasing that freaking mech forever. When the Rick and Morty thing came out,
for months.
Yeah, they've been teasing this. So anyway, it's a big lead up. All we're saying, never say never. There's a possibility that this is the end of chapter 2, and we will begin a whole new chapter of Fortnite. But So we kind of mentioned one thing that Fortnite needs to do, or at least something that they haven't done well, is to keep some of the bigger content creators, playing the game and putting it out on YouTube, Twitch, everything else. So let's kind of go into some of those people. What happened to them? I think the number one person, other than Ninja, when somebody thinks Fortnite, at least on YouTube, not streaming, but on YouTube, is probably going to be either Fearless or C-Day. You have Cypher, you have Lachlan, but if you're talking about people who no longer do the game, I'm talking about. So Fearless, that he was on top of the world. He was on top of the world, and C-Day as well. And C-Day is actually one I want to talk about because Fearless had a little bit different stuff. Fearless has some stuff going on.
College,
I actually made a YouTube video.
He explained how he had real life things going on, but C-Day vanished and never explained why. And I know why. Because his last video, Chapter 2, Season 2, I don't know if it's his last video, but I'm pretty sure it's Chapter 2, Season 2, he was getting annihilated, he couldn't even play the game. He was either facing an AI or he was getting sweated on. So I think he quit the game because the game just went to poop in his opinion. And, I know I think he's going to come back eventually. I think he's going to, plan a comeback. But he just vanished out of nowhere and never even announced why he vanished.
Yeah. So, it's funny because he didn't, but he kind of did. So he did a live stream that wasn't recorded. So it's kind of hard to find it. He did a live stream at the end of Chapter 2, Season 5, the Marvel event. Season 4, Season 5, whatever it was, the Galactus event. Yeah. So actually, around the time you were blowing up. So he did a live event then, and the whole time he was just talking crap about Fortnite, saying he hated it, saying it wasn't fun anymore, and he was just laughing about it. He was like, dude, I have my money, I don't want to play anymore, this game's boring. And that to me is just so A, sad, B, why was Fortnite not talking to him? Why was Epic not trying to communicate with him and create some sort of relationship there? And C, that's just kind of where the game is, because it's not just C-Day. You see plenty of other – C-Day is an extreme case because he ended up not playing any other game. He just kind of disappeared from the internet. But there's so many other people.
Okay, so we talked about the YouTube side of things, C-Day and Fearless, main two things. But we can go over to the Twitch side of things, and we can talk about high distortion. The reason high distortion fell off is because he tried to do the same content he did in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. People didn't like it. People said it was getting old. He got demotivated. Epic didn't change anything. He vanished forever. He's not on the internet anymore.
And he couldn't really do his because what high distortion was known for was 1v4 squads. He was solo squatting, and he was maybe the best solo squatter in the world at one point. He probably actually was. It was either him or you could argue Tfue, but that wasn't what he was known for. So as the game progressed, people got better, but that wasn't the problem. The problem, and something we haven't even touched on, I can't believe we made it 40 minutes into this and we haven't talked about skill-based matchmaking.
Oh my God.
Skill-based matchmaking, to me, makes zero sense if you have a ranked mode, which Arena is a ranked mode. So skill-based matchmaking, I know some of you kids are foaming out of the mouth right now. It's like, no, skill-based matchmaking. But I'm telling you, it is skill-based matchmaking. You could probably trace a lot of Fortnite's problems back to that, because content creators, it's hard for them to have fun because content creators.
It's impossible for them to have fun. It's not hard. It is impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, agreed. And me, for example, I'll just take me for example. Obviously, I'm nowhere near the content level of some of the guys we're actually talking about, but I'm not a competitive player. I'm actually about to start working on grinding it, but I don't have the natural skill. I'm 24. I'm not 15. I don't have that.
He doesn't snort G Fuel.
Yeah, I don't snort G Fuel every single morning when I wake up. So the problem is when I go into an arena game, I know what I'm getting myself into. I understand it. Once you get to a certain level, you understand it. You're prepared. When you play a public match and you're just chilling with friends, and you want to use grenade launchers, rocket launchers, just fly around the map with shockwaves and just have fun and do crazy things and do things that made Fortnite, you don't want to be sweated on through triple edits and being botched and just having a ramp flipped on you before you could even blink and die. It's not what you want, especially in. I'm not even a great example because at least at some point I can handle it. My friends, for example, when they play with me, I'm on PC, they're on console. They can't do anything. They cannot do anything because they're matched with my lobbies, and they just can't handle it, and that sucks because I know if I'm dealing with that, there's millions of other people dealing with that, and that's why Ninja, that's why Courage, that's why Tim the Tatman, that's why Nick Merckx on a smaller degree because I think he actually enjoys that kind of stuff. But those guys, that's why they left because they had to sweat every single game. And if you're a content creator and a streamer, you're not trying to sweat. I know some of you won't understand that because you love Fortnite to a point, all you want to do is grind. But those people on stream can't go into a creative map and practice all day. That's not they make their money on this. Like they can't do that. In Fortnite, skill-based matchmaking changed my mind, ruined the game.
Dude, I've tried to become a competitive player at this game. Like I've gotten to the points where I quit streaming for a month, and every single day I go in creative maps for 8 hours a day and try to become the best possible player as I possibly be. Because I cannot go into Fortnite for 8 hours and have fun anymore. And the only way I can do that is to get better and to just annihilate all of my opponents. And I'm not a bad player, but I'm not as I'm like your average competitive player, maybe a little bit above average. I am not, I can't hang with half of these players who I'm facing in arena. But I only play arena because I can't play pubs because I'll face AIs and I'll ruin people's days. So if I don't play arena and I don't play pubs, what do I play? I play creative. Well, creative is only fun for a certain amount of time. What do I play after that? An LTM? That's the same thing as a pub with, special things in it, whatever. Anyways, I could rant about skill-based matchmaking for 25 hours. Let me just explain this, guys. We got to the point, like back in the day, skill-based matchmaking, you did not know, like skill-based matchmaking was not in the game back in the day, okay? You went to a game, you were either going to win that game or get annihilated, and that was the fun part about it, okay? But nowadays, you are either in a full lobby of AIs or in a full lobby of sweats. There's really no in between. And you can't have that when you have a mode. You have arena specifically for ranked matches. Like you have it. It's literally a designed skill-based matchmaking. It's an organized skill-based matchmaking. So explain to me the point of having skill-based matchmaking in public matches. It's literally like now you don't have a mode where there's no skill-based matchmaking besides creative, I guess. But like creative has no awards, It doesn't make sense. And I could go on this forever, but at the end of the day, Epic does not communicate. They're not going to listen to us unless in Chapter 3 something changes, because I know for a fact that nothing's going to change in Chapter 2. None of this is going to change. No matter how much we complain, we can make valid points for 8 hours straight. Nothing's going to change in Chapter 2 because they already made it clear how Chapter 2 is going to pan out and how it's going to go. So our only hope is if they change this in Chapter 3.
Agreed. And I don't know. Skill-based is just another one of those things where it's got its upside. So that's why Epic Games does it. They wouldn't do it if everyone hated it because, little Timmy who just got on Fortnite for the first time, if you have skill-based matchmaking in the game, he's playing in a lobby with probably 80 to 85 literal bots in it, and he has a chance, and it makes him feel good, and it keeps that player around longer. So from a business model, skill-based makes sense. But it's the reason that bigger streamers and content creators stopped playing.
And that matters more than getting the little Timmys to like the game.
Yeah, 100%, because little Timmy could get on and hate it. He could hate it because he just gets absolutely crapped on because he gets unlucky with his lobby because it's just random. But then little Timmy turns the game off, gets on YouTube, sees where Ninja just uploaded a video, and he's like, oh, well, if Ninja likes it, then I still like it. So that encourages him to get on and grind to get better or just play it and just have fun. Because back in the day, nobody cared you wanted to win, but like if you got 5th place, I remember that was one of the greatest joys of making it to towards the end. And you get 4th, 5th, you almost win, like way back at the early days of Fortnite. And everybody just laughing when you died. Everybody's like, oh, we almost had it. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that at all anymore. It's to the point where every single time you die, it's so annoying, and you just get mad.
God.
You get third partied, and if you don't win, and even when you win, there's no feeling.
It's literally stressful.
It's kind of like
it's stressful. Yeah. Like playing the game it's my job, but it feels like a job right now. It feels like a job to play this game every single day, because if I don't win the game, I'm just pissed off. Like I'm not happy. I'm not okay. I made it to the top 15. This is a great game or whatever. Like there's no in between. Back in the day, dude, if I would get top 10, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I just played that so well. This is awesome, man. I can't wait for the next match. Now it's like, okay, if I don't win this game, I suck. I'm so demotivated. Why don't I just go play a different game? Because the next best player on this game is Booga, and I don't even have any earnings. There's really no in between casual players and competitive players nowadays. I'm the example of in between, and I play this game 8 hours a day and try to get better every single day. But I can't hang with competitive players, and I dominate casual players. Like there's hardly any in between anymore. It's so annoying, and it ruined Fortnite. That's one big thing outside of communication that ruined Fortnite.
Yeah, and you can even tie communication into it. Like, why not at least give us what the skill-based algorithm is?
A reasoning.
Tell us a reasoning, because it's easy to speculate that the reasoning is what I just said with little Timmy getting on for the first time, but they haven't told us that. It could be completely different. They could be sitting around a table, and every time we die, they could just be doing this, oh yes, we made him mad again. Like that could be their. That's not it, but I'm saying, we have no clue because they won't tell us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I think we've talked enough bad about Fortnite, and again, we're not mad. We are mad.
Yeah.
We're not talking crap. We're not talking crap about Fortnite because we think it's dumb or Epic Games is dumb. We're talking crap. Well, we're not talking crap.
I think Epic Games is dumb. I'll say that. I did think that.
Hey, Epic Games, he doesn't mean it. If you ever want to sponsor us, come aboard. Also, McDonald's, I've been repping you all day long if you want to sponsor us.
Celsius right here.
Yeah, I got the Celsius in the background. All kind of stuff. Splendid's back here. Yeah. Whoever wants to hop on board, come on. But let's move on to some more positive memories and or current state of Fortnite. Greatest seasons of all time. I know what you're going to say, because anybody who has...
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Unless your TikToks are lying, I
have two favorite seasons.
I have two favorite seasons too, and I think they might both be the same. So I think ours might be flipped. Well, actually, they might not be. We might be complete. The funny thing is, as much as I'm talking crap on Chapter 2, when I say the best season, I'm talking about what they did, how fun it was, how new things were introduced. I'm not talking about just nostalgia. I'm trying to get rid of nostalgia. In my opinion, the best season, the best well-done season of all time was Chapter 2, Season 2. Because there was so much introduced. People forget. All the things that we take for granted now, just the things that we might even hate now, like NPCs and all of that was all introduced in Chapter 2, Season 2. That, if you remember, that was the first... there was the sword at one point. It doesn't really count. That was the first mythics that you could get from an NPC drop. So you had Midas's drum gun. You had over at the Shark. What was her name? At the Shark with the...
I don't remember.
With the AR. She had the Scar.
Yeah. Sky.
I'm stupid.
Sky.
So you had Sky. You had Brutus down in the grotto, which, by the way, the grotto is probably returning if you didn't know. Or either that, or
even if it does, it doesn't matter. Even if the grotto returns, it doesn't really matter. The chapter's going to end soon enough, anyways.
Exactly, but in my opinion, that was the most well done season of all time. Just how they brought it all together, all the new things they introduced, and they found a way to put incredibly overpowered weapons into the game. But it was hard to get those weapons because Midas would light you up, Sky would light you up. Sky also had the grappler, which. The grappler is the most OP thing of all time. Well, not of all time, but it was top 10. And that season was just really well done because, yes, Midas's drum gun was OP. Brutus's minigun was OP. If somebody had it, you were probably dead unless you were just infinitely better than them. But, it wasn't like they were all over the map. It wasn't like the original combat shotgun where everyone had one and you were dying. You had to work to get it. You had to land there and fight 30 other people and then kill the boss to get it. And it was just really well done. And if they put that in the game now, it wouldn't be as popular. But like, it was just the first time we had ever seen it. And it was just so cool, especially because Chapter 2, Season 1 was so boring. And it lasted for months.
Worst season ever.
And no changes. Yeah, worst season. And it would have been fine had it lasted a normal month and a half, 2-month season. It was the fact that it lasted for 6 months and nothing happened. But anyway, I'll let you go. That, in my opinion, if it's not that, it's Chapter 1, Season 5, which is what I thought you were going to say.
Okay, fair. I mean, I think Cren's out of his mind for picking a Chapter 2 season, but hey, I mean, we're all here. We're all here to have some fun. We're all here to, voice our opinion. I do think Chapter 2 Season 2 was a fun game, or a fun season. I do think it's one of the best seasons of all time. I think it's a top 5 season, but I do not think that it should be listed as number 1. But I mean, we all have our opinions. I mean, it's only because I hate Chapter 2 with the passion, and it ruined my love for the game. I still love the game, but like it ruined my actual, whatever. But anyways, I think Chapter 2 Season 2 was a fantastic season, but the just surrounding seasons just ruined it for me. My favorite seasons was Season 5 and Season 7. And I think recently I've been leaning more towards Season 7. But because Season 5 was a spam meta. Everybody's going to say that to me. I know it was a spray meta. I know they had the jump gun in the P90. But the reason Season 5 was special to me is because that's when my OG squad was playing 24/7. We were having so much fun. It was in the summertime. I was playing 12 hours a day. No questions asked. I was having the time of my life, okay? That's why Season 5 was fun. And because of the map, but not because of the current loot pool. You think I cared about the loot pool back in Chapter 1, Season 5? I was just caring about having fun with my friends. But I think, in my opinion, the peak of Fortnite and the best season we've ever seen was Chapter 1, Season 7. And for multiple reasons. I know they had the sword, but that's the last thing I'm thinking about. I mean, the fact that that was peak map, the peak map, by the way, Chapter 1, Season 7. They had all the biomes, the desert, the snow, and the regular. And they had the block, they had everything. It was a snow-covered map. Once again, all my friends were still playing. It was so fun. That's when I switched to PC. Like, that was, for me, my favorite season of all time. I thought the map was at its peak. I thought the loot pool was great. I thought adding the sword was cool. I thought that's when competitive took a rise. I thought, when creative came in that season, that was insane. I loved creative. I would 1v1 my friends. We would have a lot of fun. In my opinion, Season 7 is the best season of all time. It's when Fortnite made it clear what the future of Fortnite's going to be, and it's when Fortnite really changed the game forever with adding creative.
Yeah, no, 100%. Season 7, Chapter 1, Season 7 was fantastic. And correct me if I'm wrong, that is the season where the Ice King came and froze everything, and then the Fire King kind of put it out. That was leading into Season 8 with the volcano and everything, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, great storyline that season, great meta. And I know what a lot of people listening are going to say. Creative, in a lot of people's mind, people will tell you that creative ruined Fortnite. I disagree.
I disagree harshly.
Yeah, me too. Because every single game throughout history, not only video games.
MW2 was the same way.
Yeah, not only video games, but sports. Every single thing in life that is a game, like people started out really bad because nobody knew what they were doing. And as time's gone on, they've gotten better and better and better. You cannot be mad at people for getting better at the game. Now, that's where skill-based match. But if you want to be mad at skill-based because you're being placed with those people just because you got a couple wins or whatever and you're getting sweated on all the time, fine. Get mad at skill-based. But you cannot say that Fortnite sucks because you're trash at the game and you don't want to get better. Because if that's the case, that's fine. Just don't play. Just say that, dude, like, I can't have fun because I get killed and people are better than me. Admit that. Don't quit and then blame Fortnite for adding creative and blame kids for trying to grind and pursue their dreams. Because why?
Like, that's how I got better. I got better playing creative.
Exactly. And I'm not, you've played with me. I'm not a great player. But as a public casual player, I'm probably right above average. Like, I'm not a bad player, especially for a controller player, which is why Chapter 2 Season 2 was great for me.
Yeah.
That's a different topic.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's totally different. I was on keyboard and mouse, so.
Yeah, completely different experience.
Yeah.
I was just absolutely leveling people that season. My KD was like 9. but yeah, you cannot get mad at people for getting better at the game, because if you get mad at people for that, like, come on, like that's just an excuse.
That's just telling me. If you told me that, that's just telling me that you are horrible at the game, and I could literally box you like a fish within 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing: if you don't like want to sweat, if you don't want to grind and get better, completely fine. But here's my argument to that: if you're bad at the game, I've seen lobbies with bad players. I've played with players who don't play anymore, and it kind of brings I've watched them, and the lobbies are awful, and they compete and they get top 5, top 10 consistently. Like, why are you mad? That tells me that you haven't actually played it recently, and you're just trying to talk crap about it because that's the fun thing to do.
It's a good excuse. Or it's an easy excuse. It's an easy excuse.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Exactly. And making fun of Fortnite has kind of become cool online. Like that's a lot of the reason you get a lot of hate, is just because you're an older person who still plays Fortnite. And I get those comments all the time. The biggest comment I get on my videos are grown man, by the way, like talking about the fact that I'm talking about Fortnite.
Sorry to cut you off, but in the season 7 event, I was like reacting to Kevin the Cube, like I was like screaming, oh my god.
We did the same thing, remember?
Yeah, we basically did the same thing. And the top comment was, "This is a grown man, by the way." Like, I can't have fun in a video game anymore. People think I don't have a life outside of Fortnite. Like, I'm not allowed to have fun on a video game anymore. And like that's just like, it's where the gaming community has came to, which is honestly depressing. And it all leads back to Epic basically enabling the Fortnite community to get ruined, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree. There's probably a million different reasons that have caused Fortnite's decline, and some of it might just be fatigue. Every game after a while gets old, but that was the beauty of Fortnite. It came out, the BR I'm talking about, came out in September of 2017, and through, really up until Season X, and even through Season X, people complained about it, but everyone still played it. It was pretty fun. It was just kind of broken with the max and some of the different things they added. But through the entire season, or chapter 1, it was still awesome. And the reason is because they put consistent updates. They gave consistent patch notes, and the game was not the same. If you played, before Season 1, or right when Season 1 came out in that time period, before there was even an item shop, there was just a season shop, that game wasn't even remotely the same as just Season 3. Like, it was completely different. And then Season 3 was nowhere near the same game as Season 7. So although it was still Fortnite, they were completely different in a good way. So it still kept the nostalgic feel of it, like the graphics, which that's a different topic, but the graphics have also helped ruin the game now.
Yeah.
But it was different. Everything changed almost weekly. And now, again, going back to it, we had the same map.
Maybe yearly?
2 years ago.
It changes yearly now? Like, what, it doesn't change. It doesn't change.
If that. Like, I've been landing, I don't know. I've landed the same house. I could tell you every rock on that map.
Oh, my God.
Every single spot.
I know the bush, by the IO place, by Lazy Lake. I could literally say the coordinates right now. Like, I know every single like corner and inch of that map. And I did on the old map too. But like, we're just saying that this map is so much bigger, so much more detail, but like not more detail actually, but like it hasn't changed. And like, I know the map like the back of my hand because I played it every day for the last 2 years. But anyways, not to change the topic or whatever, but like, it's not even changing the topic. We're still on Fortnite. But like, back to our favorite season, I think a lot of people are I wanted to add this in, but I think a lot of people are going to be mad at us not saying season 1 through 4. But I think that those seasons are mad overrated. I'm not saying that they weren't so fun and all this stuff, but like those are that section of Fortnite is when you are blinded by nostalgia if you think that those are the best seasons. Because season 2, great map change, whatever. You couldn't even build through metal. Okay. It was hell, like it wasn't fun. Okay. I mean, it was fun, but like
that ninja clip goes off about that.
Yeah. Stuff like that. And then like season 3, like the only vehicle was shopping carts, the only reason it was fun is because we were having fun and we sucked at the game. But like looking back at it, that was not the peak of Fortnite because it was still developing. I think season 1 through 4 was the developing stages, and we are blinded by nostalgia saying that those are the best seasons. That's why I say season 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely nostalgia. I will say this. Seasons 1 through 4 might have had the most meme-worthy. They might have been the most meme-worthy seasons. So
that's for YouTube content. That's for YouTube content.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm okay if you try to tell me that that's the most fun you've had, but those were not the best seasons as far as what Epic did. Those might have been the most fun, like for certain individuals because their friends were playing it. It was easy. Like there wasn't really any good players, and just all the different factors that made it fun. But it wasn't a great season when you compare it to later seasons where they started to add some more, cool items and different guns. And there was a lot, the metas changed. And there was more storyline. The other seasons were just really superior to that. But
they were more well-rounded. That's why. They were more well-rounded than the other seasons.
Because what people don't realize about Fortnite is the BR was not, and it's well documented now, so you might know it, but the BR was not the focal point at all. And not only was it not the focal point, they threw that map together and they threw that thing out there just because of what PUBG had done. PUBG, H1Z1 into PUBG, and PUBG, that was a fun 3 months if you ever played it. But Fortnite was releasing Save the World. And Fortnite has been in development since 2011. It was a long time coming. They
over a decade now. It's been a decade.
Yeah, they had all these plans. In 2011, gaming was very different. It was going to be a very specific style of game. Right before they released it, like when I say right before, within a year or 2 years before they released it, BRs blew up. Battle Royales blew up. So Fortnite decided, or Epic Games decided, hey, let's do this. Let's just add it as a mode. It'll be free. It'll get people to our actual game. And lo and behold, it released in September, I believe September 17th, 2017, around that time. It was September 2017. And within 3 months, it was the biggest phenomenon of all time on gaming. Like it was being showed on news outlets. It was being talked about as...
It was in my local newspaper. My dad doesn't even know what video games are, and he was talking about Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of stuff was happening.
Yeah, my parents couldn't tell you what Modern Warfare or COD is. They couldn't tell you what Call of Duty is. They have no clue anything. They don't know how to work a television half the time. I had to set their Netflix up. And they know who Ninja is. And they know what Fortnite is.
Yep.
And that's the reason why. Like, you walk down the street and you see a kid flossing. Like, what the heck? And flossing's not a Fortnite thing. I understand that.
It was blown up by Fortnite.
Yeah, it got put into Fortnite. And you saw kids doing, that thing. You saw kids
Jubilation.
Yeah, the best friends or whatever it was called. You just saw that everywhere, and it was so fun. I mean, there were 40-year-olds geeking over it. Like, it was just such a good time of gaming, and that's why. But anyway, back to my point. They saw that it was blowing up, so they started to put the development onto the BR side. Because originally that map, again, we were just thrown together. It wasn't meant to be anything special. They didn't put much money into it, and then they started slowly developing it, and it's become the focal point, obviously. But that's the problem. As you start to have more people in the department, like in Epic Games, you lose some of that you lose some of the developers' creativity, and you start getting more of the money involved in it. And, they're making money. They're doing better than they ever have, and that's all they care about.
They're doing better financially than they ever have. Which is
that's what I
mean. That's only because they're collabing with Marvel and Disney. Like, that's the only reason. But I want to make it clear, like, this whole entire podcast, I think, is mainly us talking. Like, well, we talked about the past and how great it was. Obviously, I think we emphasize that enough. Like, everybody knows how good Fortnite once was. Like, we don't have to sit here and explain it for an hour. But like, I think, like, I want to make it clear that when we were talking bad about Fortnite, I guess, or like, we're just criticizing it. Okay. We're trying to provide insight because, who knows if this ever gets to an Epic employee. We want them to hear our side of the story. And, I think it's like, I want to make it clear that we're not hating on Fortnite. We are simply just providing criticism and, just giving our opinion, I guess.
Of course, because I say all this, and at 8 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be right back on the game.
Yeah.
I still love Fortnite. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, sometimes you got to be critical. Sometimes, it's going to take somebody being harsh for you to fix the problem. And there's absolutely a problem. All right. Well, we've gone a little bit over an hour now. So I am going to let you tell the people where they can find you, kind of the content you create, and then we'll peace on out.
So I am on TikTok, RelayTS. I have that's my main platform, 450 something thousand followers. I stream on Twitch every single day, RelayTS over on there. YouTube, I post on YouTube once a day, at least I try to. RelayTS on YouTube, Twitter, RelayTS, Instagram, Relay_TS, and all that stuff. But also BTB. Make sure to follow BTB Gaming on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, BTB_esports on Twitch, actually, and BTB on YouTube. But yeah, make sure you go follow BTB, and you can go follow RelayTS on all socials if you want to.
Yeah, I can't believe we've made it this far without talking about BTB. Guys, if you didn't know, we have an esports legend in our midst. Relay has started an esports organization, like you said, BTB. Concurrently between all its members, which I am a member, thank you so much for the opportunity. But it's a few million followers. He'll know a little bit more than I do between all of the different content creators and competitive players. So BTB to the moon. We're excited about that. And we'll talk about that in a different podcast and kind of give you guys the rundown. But for now, like you said, go follow him on all socials. You can find me, crenbeast, on everything, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I post daily content on most not YouTube. I post daily content on TikTok, weekly on YouTube, and stream occasionally and sporadically. So we're going to let you guys peace out. Anything else you need to say, Relay?
Nope. Make sure to follow the podcast on all socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever we're on, all the podcast platforms as well. Follow The Gamers Den. This is going to be one of the biggest gaming podcasts you will ever see in your whole entire life. I'm so confident about it. So make sure to stay tuned to all of our episodes. And I can't thank you guys enough for watching. And yeah, guys, I'm so excited for the future of this podcast.
Yep. And like you said, follow us. 5-star review if you're on Apple, Spotify, or anything that you can leave a review. If you're on YouTube, leave us a sub, like, comment, do the whole dang thing. Help us out. We're excited to grow. But until next time, we will see you guys. Peace.
Peace out.
All right. We can stop it so we can have